Japanese music. Good afternoon, if anybody's there. I'm a bit late today. I've had a bit of a mive. It's been a bit manic this morning, actually. I thought uh, I thought it was going to be a bit easier today, but phew, forget it. Oh, hey, what was that? Give it that. So good. Oh, let me turn this on here. Good afternoon. Now I've changed the oh, I can't see anything from my eyes again. I've changed the camera around a little bit. Not the camera, I've done the microphone. I've changed it, so hopefully it's a bit better. Hello, Linda. Let's have a look. Who've we got? I've not got my mouse up here. We've got, excuse me, I'll just have to reach over it. Hello, Philippa, Sally, Linda, Kim, Sue, Denise, Louise, Joe, Karen. Yeah, it sounded like a cat then, didn't it? Sally, Janice. Oh, I won't be there at a Chanda this week. It's so annoying me that I just got back and I can't go back in. I have to get everything checked out. So at the moment, I'm doing it from live from home. So it's not ideal, I know, but it's just it's never happened like this. So hi, Elaine, Ellie, Marjorie, Marcia, Wendy, Carol. Gonna draw instead. It's a shame you can't draw around walk your dog. That'd be a bit dangerous though, that wouldn't it? Right, well, I am working. I'm not going to be around as much, only because I'm working on my website while I'm off. Well, I'm not off. I'm prepping at home, obviously, but I'm going to be doing a lot more sort of. I'm trying to, as I just told you, well, ages ago, really. I said I was going to be doing more work on my website and stuff. So yeah, I'm doing that at the moment. And it's sort of one step forward, 10 back, one forward, 10 back. So it's a case of I'm not too sure where my head is at the moment. So it's quite funny. Just sort of um, I don't know, it's just a bit strange. I'm just trying to get my head around everything. Anyway, hence I'm being a bit late. So I really enjoyed what I did yesterday. I really like the idea of just doing something really unorganised today. I'm just doing something real simple like pattern building. I mean, I've still got to finish all these. I really enjoyed it, and I loved the construction of it, and I loved the fact that it was very neat and tidy. And I do really enjoy that, and I think it's really good to have this sort of breadth of difference and differences in your drawing ability, because it's like an arsenal. You need all these different sort of skills. It's a bit like being a painter and decorator, without being rude, because they're very important. But being a painter and decorator isn't just about painting and decorating. It's about learning all the other skills that make your painting and decorating a really good job. So I can't see anything over there. So we've not got many people in today, because people are at work like they are. So what I'll do is I'll just carry on with my own little self, but I might do some just simple drawing today. I might use my compass. I think it'll be a chilling drawing. I'll use my Orbis as well, because I've been using that quite a lot. And I think I might just do like pattern building. So something. I quite like this though sectioning because I think it's really successful. So I'm just going to go and get some circles because I'm going to make some flowers, but I'm going to make some like not dodgy flowers. I don't even know why I thought I said that. So I'm looking at what I've got. It's a 54. So if I want to put a few more 54s round, I put 54. Oh, that's a 75. Never mind. So your orbis is very easy to use. It's oh, don't do that. No wrong with it. I just didn't want to snap my lead. Graphite lead. There's no such thing as lead in your pencil. That's something from years and years ago. So just putting these circles in. Some of them have just dropped off a little bit, but they're so I quite like that. So I'm going to hit it in with the big ones now. Oh, you can rub out lines you don't want, can't you? Just been watching that. Well, not watching. It was online when I was trying to do it, and I was waiting for something to download, and it was How Clean Is Your House? It was like, ooh, a bit scary. Right. So what I'm going to do is go. Oh, not even told you which book I'm using. I'm using my big. Can't see it. Sorry about that. So, yeah, you should be getting your orbit as well. So now you've got to decide on where you want your under and over and over and under. So this is a real simple one today, simply because I don't want to. I want it to be a chilling thing and not have to think too much. So hence this. It's more about pattern building today. So I quite like that on there, that on there, and that on there. Yeah, okay. So I've got some patterns and you can see. So the only problem about using it this way is just trying to read things. So it must be here somewhere. Let me get this on here, just so I can make it in between. That's it. I don't like the idea of not being able to join it properly, so I'll just put that down there. I mean, that might not be right, but I don't care. So I'll get rid of that there. That's it. We could have some smaller ones here if we wish. Don't forget you've got these little ones outside as well. It's a little bit too little, so I might pop a bigger one there. That's it. If we put a few of these around, then it won't just look like stick out like a sore thumb, so to speak. So I'll have this under and over that, like that. Yeah, that's it. Get carried away then, it'd be like circle mania. So you can see I've got quite a good few. Morning, Jan. So, okay. I think I will do some like just some simple patterns on these. I don't want anything too heavy. I just want to create some almost like, what's the word, abstract images, and maybe even draw the flowers that I've done before, which are quite easy to draw, in as much as they're just like, you know, you just space them out accordingly, and then, so, you know, if you're going to draw a flower, then you just need your centre lines like that, or where you're going to do your middle bits. So whether I want a flower, I don't know. Do I want a flower? Don't know. Oh, I'm confused. Hi, Alex. Hi, Denise. Right. Okay, so that one goes under that one. That one goes over that one there. Right, I can start putting final lines in now because I've got the pens. Hopefully you'll be able to get the pens and everything from That's Crafty, as well as, oh, that's handy to know. So you'll be able to do, you know, go to That's Crafty and get your pens and stuff. So I might use a little one for that. Yeah, the lovely Laura's stocking them, so that's even better. So I'm just going to go straight in with the big circles. Well, as much as I can, I don't want to sort of, I know some of you haven't got one of these, so just use your compass as you will. And I'm making sure that I'm trying to get on a 5mm line here. Not too worried if it's not bob on, as long as it's near as spitting, if that is even a saying. So that's there. And just be careful, don't forget, ease off when you're stopping and starting, because that's when you go over your lines a bit too much, so you get like a double line, and you don't really want that. See, I can see this here, I'm not too worried about that because I'll make that into something. Oh, fingers crossed it will. Right, so just keep an eye on where they cross over. I've run that over because I'm going to put that in there. Right, so mindful moodling today. What we're going to create is just simple shapes and patterns that they sort of, how can I put it? Well, how can I put it? How can I get that? It's a bit better. Simple lines and shapes that you can then draw in, and you can create your own patterns. You can create patterns that pre-exist. So if you've got a favourite pattern that you like, that's what can go on here. As you're moving around though, remember to lift your pen so that you're not interfering. Like here, I can put this line in here. There, that's better. So it's not actually crossing over lines, but I could just, no one's going to know that there. And then these little doofers here, I can put, this is a little one here. I quite like the idea of little flowers though, not flowers, but little funky ones, like how can I put it? They're like, how can I put it? They're like Oh, that's under. Is it that one there? Abstracted, like funky flowers, that sort of thing, not cute ones. I'm not a lover of cute ones all the time. Here's the big one now going in, so I'm just going to join up to behind all of them. That's right, because that one's that. I was looking at that then thinking that can't be right. But that's another one. And then here. And then here. And that won't come there, you won't see it. That's right, so you'll only see that. Right, so I've got my little one here. Oh, just dropped my lid. So I'm going to use this one for my little ones. So how is everybody today? Is everybody okay? I'm fine. Just trying to find my get up and go. I think it's got up and gone. Sorry. Alright, it's the doctors. Dooby. Dooby. Right. Let's go for it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's enough of it. I think I'm happy with that. I might be better off drawing it this way actually for you. Excellent. Yeah, mine's A-wall, Emma. Totally A-wall. So, there we go. Oh, wait, that wouldn't have been good. That wouldn't have been good at all. So, you can see we've got our bubbles here, right? So, oh, I'm trying to move the camera for you. Sorry, guys. It's a bit skew whiff. There we go. So, I've got all these patterns now. I can do several things with them. I can change them into sort of crazy patterns. Bubbles. Are just like abstracty shapes and can add to them more. I quite like the idea of just working inside them, but or even colour. I'm looking at this now and I've completely changed my mind. I've completely changed my mind and I want to do what I did yesterday. It's terrible. You couldn't find me. I mean, I've not moved. Honestly. I don't know what to do, guys. I don't know what to do. Shall we just put pattern in all of this then? That might be an idea. Because we've not done that for ages, have we? Right, okay. Let's just put pattern in. Rather than try and force it out, just put some small patterns in. So we're going to start off with that. So we'll look at what we did yesterday. Do you remember with the patterns? So we did some um, quite structured ones. I'm going to have to move this because I can see it going somewhere. I can see it going. Right, so wiggly lines. I've done them big at first so that I can do ones in between if I find that these... You see, what I don't want to do is do massive ones at first. We could do watercolour first, but the only problem with that one is I won't be able to show you patterns because it takes so much time drying it, you know what I mean? But yeah, you could put the patterns on and colour on, that would make total sense. So here I quite like that. I think I like it a little bit thinner. Yeah, there we go. So we've got that. Yeah, I like that. We're sort of going to change it up though. And then what we can do is another one where we do dots. So this one, I like this one. And this is by eye. Like that. And then what you do is you go round and round and round. So you do like an S. Don't be doing that because if you do that, it goes a bit misshaped. So it's there we go. So we've got this. It's sort of, you've got to remember to try and do these odd ones on the top because it looks a bit. Now, the one I saw, I'm sure it was ages ago. It went like that. Like that. But I'm going to keep it like that because I don't want it to be too similar to others. Do you know what I mean? I've got to be a bit careful with that. So we've got some dodgy dodgy lines. We've got some lines now. And what I'm going to do is just, I'm keeping this sort of circle theme going. I'm not doing them all because otherwise it's not what we're doing with a pen. But I quite like this here, but I'm going to do sort of circles that are, you know, different, sort of like that, you know, wonky. There we go. So wonky circles. Then waves, yeah, it does. I like the idea of like control and random and freedom. It doesn't always work the same way, but you know, it doesn't matter, does it? So let's look at other patterns now, and we think, I still think this could do with some little higgledy-piggledy ones. Now, what I'm going to show you is how I draw with dots. Don't let me forget, is I will show you how I draw with dots, and we can put it perhaps on our work so it looks different. Hello, Rizwana. Hi, Linda. People doing similar to me, Marcia, in what do you mean? So I'm just going to run these here. Right, I'm just going to do this way. You're going to get people sort of following you or watching what you do and watching trends. So, you know, as long as we stick to our... You see, that bit there was a dodgy line, so I've made use of it. Don't forget, dodgy lines. You're going to get this... you're going to get this no matter what, aren't you, really? So you've just got to be prepared for it. So I'm going to be quite neat with this. And do it quite single. Lemon drizzle. Right, let's get mindful now. Let's think about all the hassles that you've got today, or things you've got to do. I've got a test booked, so I just won't stick it up my nose as far as I did last time. And just think about all the things you've got to do and how you're going to do them. And then I think set yourself time. And I think that really helps me is to just be specific. I can't blah 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 specific with my time and make sure that not just stick to it, but I'm happy to stick to it. You know, I sort of think, right, okay, this is important, and I make a list, and it's all about what's important, what can be put off, what has to be done today, what can be put off to another day if you can't fit it in today. And it really helps me that. And this is another bit of the mindful moodling. It's like while you're doing this, you can ponder these things. You can ponder these things about how you deal with things and how you want to deal with things, and just be in the moment. And if you can, if you're following with me, just focus on what you're drawing so that you get in tune with it and enjoy it. Because I know if I go off on a tangent, I find it really difficult, and I always get my structures wrong when I do that. And it's only because I'm trying to do two things at once, and I know women can. But as you get older, I'm finding that harder and harder to do. So I put in my circles, my little circles. I've not put those lines in yet, but I'm happy with that so far. I do need flowers. You could call it anything you want, Rizwana. So, oh, there's one missed. Should have left it a little bit smudged. But I'm just going to see if I can get this nice and guess what I never did? I never got round to my blooming crochet because I was that busy worrying about parcels that I got sent, and I was going to get them out because I couldn't go out. Oh, it's a nightmare. But I didn't want to let anybody down, and but there's not a lot I could do when I'm tied up being in. I tell you what, you don't realise what you can't do until you can't do it. That sounds so daft. But you know, it's like when my back goes or my pain kicks in. Uh, when my, when I mean that, I mean when it kicks into the point where I can't even get up. Like at the moment, it's creasing me. Don't have to make you drag you down, but unless you sort of go through that, you think you don't realise how precious things are, like being able to do stuff. And it's really quite scary because you don't think about it until you can't use it. Because we take it all for granted, don't we? Um, yeah, this is me with the colour. Um, yeah, I mean, let's face it, Glynis, you're right, and everybody else. There are going to be lots of people who think, oh, it looks like a Zentangle or this or that, but it's the patterns you're putting in are your own unique patterns. You look at it, and I'm not obviously going to go and nick everybody's patterns, not consciously anyway. There's going to be patterns that cross over, but when we sit down together and do it, it's going to have or take on its own sort of style, which is what I want. So yeah, its colour is the one thing that really makes ours stand out, doesn't it? So I'm just going to put this on here, which is another circle, because I'm conscious that I don't want it to be exactly, like, because I know there is patterns like this and I don't want to be sort of exactly like them. So if you make them your own, then it's a bit easier then, isn't it? So you could actually wonder if that'd be nice, wouldn't it? I'm not going to try it on this. Here I'm just going to put, so these look like logos, don't they? And I don't mean as in these, I mean as in, like, three-dimensional holes. Yeah, I think mandalas, tandalas, and all these things are so popular. I think people, the circles you can still buy. I think they're still on a Chanda, the Orbis, but I know Michael is selling them. I think he's the UK rep for them, and I know they come from um, CFM Group Limited. So in the Isle of Man, so I know they come from there. Um, yes, they are. They are like tuning knobs. Right, so let's think of some patterns now that are going to really. I think I'll do these three here. I'm going to do in. Do you remember I said about flowers? And now it doesn't matter, but that centre is going to be the centre of my flowers. You get that? So that's going to be the middle, always, the inner circle. So I'm just going to draw as many as you need on. So what it has to do is, that's the biggest, ignore that, because that's where your lines go to. Your line is going to be through this one. I hope the sound's a bit better. I've done it through the computer and not my webcam. So as long as that's correct in the middle, you just go to the outside length. Are you going, Linda? Oh, I hope you're not bored with us. And I'm going to do something just and it's really simple. I'm using the same shape, but I'm just wiggling the edges because we can make it look like a flower if we want. Or we can build up this shape so that it patterns on something else right there. So here, what I can do is just go to there. There we go. So we've got like a former pattern now. If we rub out the lines, you'll see it's a bit clearer there. And if I just put another wonky flower bit in the middle, so I'm going to put another wonky bit in here, but I think what I'll do is I'll put like a weird shape there that I've never heard of. So here, now if people are unsure about these shapes that I'm doing now, on another video you'll see them there as well. So what I'm going to do is I think I'll swap it around on this one. So I'm sort of trying to do half, but don't get too heads up with that. Don't worry about it. It's like, it's nothing sort of to worry about. Here what I'm going to do is perhaps bring these flowers in a little bit more so that these weird flower shapes that we've got here, there we go, they're okay, they're like flowers, but they're not, the first thing you don't think is, oh, look at them lovely little flowers. You're thinking, oh, they're weird ones, aren't they? They're a bit strange. So what I'm going to do is, I liked the one I did yesterday. I really liked it. So we do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. That's a bit out there, but don't worry too much. And then in the middle you go, oh, 1, 4, 5. Count that as 1 there in the middle and 1 there, 4, 5. Count that as 1, 1 that side, 1 in the middle, 1 there, 1 there. And again here, so we go 1 in the middle, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. That's going to be one of that one. So we need that one there, 1 there. I hope that's making sense. So that one is going to be part of that one and that one. So if I just do that, can you see now how it works? Yeah? So we're going to use, I need to put just a little, right, because I won't see them all, I'll just see a bit. So let's start here. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, just make it up there because I can't see it. I'm not worried. Do you know what I mean? It's otherwise I'm going to get a up with it. Now, if you want to do them as diamonds, that looks good as well. So you do diamond to there, straight, diamond to there. Well, it's not diamond, is it? Triangle, whatever shape it is, that one. Do you see there? Straight down in the middle. So that one to there, that one to there, that one to there, that one to there. Straight down, that one to there. And then we'll do the same here. 1 to the middle, 1 to there, 1 to there, 1 to there, 1 to there. And again there. And then Right, okay. You'll only see a bit of it, you won't see it all. I quite like that. And then what we'll do is, I'm trying my best to make these really unique for us all so that we're not, you know, just looking at anybody else's. We're actually doing our own little bits here. And then in here, I think what we need is just a wiggly line there. And then just put some circles in. And then it'll sort of tie in with what we normally do. There we go. So got a wiggle line there happening. Right, oh, I'm liking this now. I'm getting into it, yay. I'm really getting into it. I wasn't at first, I was like, oh, what am I doing? I don't know what to do. And then sometimes you just got to go for it. You've just got to think, right, okay, this is where I'm at today. So this is what I've got to do today. So I quite like the idea of, you know, like we do lines like this. You know how we've done in the past, we've done our lines. So we've done like mini works of art. So if we do another one here, we need 3 now. So if I just do through there. Right, so I'll show you what I've done. I know it looks really rubbish at the moment, but it will look better. But do you know when we do these, and we do these nice patterns, and we do like the C ones and stuff, it'd be nice to interchange it with that. So this is when you need your other books. So get your patterns in your books and look at them and think, right, okay, I've got quite angular ones there. I'm going to be using my Studio Light paints as always, because you know I love them. I'm going to get out my other books for all my shapes and patterns so that I can have a look at them and think, right, I like them as well. Do you know, and get your patterns out and really work with them, because otherwise we're not going to use, we're going to try and reinvent them all the time, and that is not going to work. It's too much hard work, and we want to enjoy what we're doing, not make it a chore every time we do it. So I'm just going to put, what I might suggest that you do with these is keep these big ones big colour, just plain colour, like just do all that and that a bit. Say that was orange, you just do that darker orange and that darker orange and that maybe black. But then you keep these to really bright colours so that you've got a real contrast. So again, little squares, and then I'm going to put my bumps on. Right, I'm really loving this now. I'm getting into it. Can you tell? Can you tell? Right, I'm just looking at these now, looking at these patterns and thinking, right, well, here's another one I've not done yet. I've not done this one yet. Oh, and I've not done that. I've not done that. So here's some more patterns. Do I want any in that? And a lot of them, there we go. So that's a simple pattern round there, because I've seen it on my sheet here. You see. Where's it gone? There it is. Can you see it's just there? So I'm just doing that there so I can work on it. Now, don't forget, coming up, I've got the new pens So in fact I can show them you now. Coming up I've got the new pens, and I've got a 10 and a 12, which is going to be amazing, because then you know all these sticker lines like here, look at the side of that, and that's a bad boy. So oh, look at that. So this is a 10. I wouldn't do this everywhere, and again lift off when you come to join up your circles because your pressure varies. I wouldn't do that all over because that's a heavy line, but when you're sort of messing about with all others, you know, when you're doing light and dark, that's an excellent one to have. Don't forget we've got this pattern here. Do you remember we did this yesterday? I really like that, and it will go with these, won't it? Now we've got that, which if I'm right in thinking this number 12 should just be, look at that, wow. Yeah, it's perfect. So these are the new sizes, which I'm so glad they brought out, because I was having to switch pens and stuff, whereas now I know I don't need to. I can just use the one set securer again. But there again, they've been doing pens for 100 years now, so they've got it right, haven't they? They know what it is that they're doing is well received, it's well loved, it's top quality. So why change it? They're not going to change it. It's not broke, don't fix it. So yeah, I'm happy with the fact that in between these bigger blobs or circles, shall we say, we've got some nice thinner lines, and I think that really has an impact on your drawing. Like here, what I can do is just, but don't do everything like this just because you've got a fat pen. Do, you know, intermittent, because there's some areas that won't look as good. See, I'm wondering, would that black dot, I think it'll just look nice there, but then I'm going to have to stop because then I want to do it here, but I don't want to. But this makes life so much easier because you're doing less movement and less pen work to get the dot black like that. That's lovely. And these are the brand new ones. So we've got a 005, an 8 and a 003. They're like having two hairs on a brush. So, and a 10 and 12. So yeah, some nice pens there. Here's a whopper. So let's have another look at what we've got. Where's my other book gone? I've got books everywhere, and is there any in here? Oh no, that's me. Oh, mind you, there's someone here, isn't there? Look, there's some here that we've done. So I'm looking. Oh, you see, there's that one. Oh, I like that one there. I might try that. I might try that. And you're still using a number 5, and I'm hoping that. See, I think I'll do the big one in the back, one colour. I think that'll make sense. Here we've got dots, so maybe lines like this here would look good. Can you see? Now we've got lines radiating. So if I was to just put a wonky line there like that, and then just put of different sizes so that it's not all one size. So we've got, it looks awful now, but once you start putting spacing and lines in and patterns in them, it changes your mind. I'm just putting dots in there, putting dot like stitching lines, or what's it called, like Morse code. Here I'm doing like a cross stitch. You could do Yeah, I quite like the cross stitch off. So at that point it joins, but when you get here, it separates. Get me? Can you see that? And then we can put lines, different lines. Yeah, I quite like that. Once you got colour on that, that'll sort of bring the others up into. I think what I might do though is just put. It looks a bit like strange, just like that. So if I just put lines. There we go. Happy with that? That looks a bit better now because you've got more detail. Sort of angular and so we've got quite a lot of pattern going on here. We're going to bring in, I think personally, a circle there. And then putting these lines here. And the little, like, sticky uppy things. Well, I'm sure there's a better name. They're like little flower buds, aren't they? So change your work around, have a look at it and see whether it looks nice that way or do you prefer it this way. I quite like the idea of these going in with like this. I can't believe it's Friday. There we go. So they're not as tightly packed as the other ones are. There we go. So you can do that one there. We can have another one here where it, as it comes to the middle, it gets bigger and then goes back smaller. And even if you don't have the right line, you can put your dot on and then make your line fit so that it looks better like that. See, I quite like that like that. That's, you've got the difference in like one being thicker than the other one. You've got nice areas of colour, nice areas of pattern. I think what I am going to do is just put if in doubt, put a circle on it. I left the fox alone yesterday and I didn't see it come out anywhere, but when I went and had a look down the side of the shed it had gone. So yeah, it's quite quite scary how they sound though. I'm not a lover on when I hear them screeching, it sounds like babies, doesn't it? And I'm not a lover of that, it scares me. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do, you know, the other day, I can't wait for it all to get back to normal. Oh, thank you, Thelma. Emma, are you using Secura pens? If you're using pink micron, they shouldn't be bleeding. Yeah, I can't wait for it to get back to normal. So, you know, I'm not worried about driving or I'm not worried about the driving, that's not a problem. I'm not worried about sort of going anywhere and worrying about being, you know, contaminating or anybody or them via me. And it's like yesterday, it was just everything's shut down now since that's, and I'm like, it's so annoying because I normally go out and do my shopping, but I can't go out and do anything. It's like, you know, the guy came to the door and I thought I shouldn't even open the door, but luckily I didn't run it. It's just really weird. And I'm, you know, not being able to go to a chanda when I've just started to go again, it was like such, oh, I can't tell you. Right, I'm just adding some bumps. Colour here would look really nice. You could put a pattern here, which I think I will. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. So, will we see it anywhere else? No, we won't. So here, I'll just put 3 squares. 1, 2, 3. The reason I'm doing this is they don't look such random squares there, some random shapes. It's like you can tell that has, you know, continuation around there. Whereas if I don't do this, it just looks like, oh, where's that? I get it now, because that line now fits with that, and that line fits with that. I get it, and that's underneath that. Otherwise, you sort of sat there and you're thinking, well, where does that come from? What colour is it? Where should it be? And they're the little, like, things that really, they do really get to you when you're doing stuff like this, because you think, oh, it's annoying me now, I can't do it, it's annoying me. So I'm going to put in, I think, that beautiful, like, lotus flower shape we did. Not a big one, just a little one. There we go. So we've got that pattern there happening. You can have another shape like that to it. That's quite nice. You can put one here so it's not on its own. So we put the middle one first, like that. Then let's see, like that. If you're like me and you've gone a bit too petal happy, don't worry. Don't worry, because no one is, well, if they're looking that close, then a bit not right. So I've got that. So I put like the little patterning in there. I've got some strange patterns here. I've got some colour. So basically now what you've done is you filled everything you need to with the pattern and stuff that you need. You just now need a little bit of colour. So as you know, I love my studio light. Now, I love both. I absolutely love them, and I'm really, really happy to say that I use them every day. And it's really important because when you find that you've got a really good paint product, paintbrush, paint, you know, all these things, then it's really important. Then you think, right, okay, I know I'm going to get a good product or finish or something like that if I remain with these. And that's what I think with these. I know that whatever I use, when I use these, I'm going to get a good result. So I've not got my water spray, so I'm going to have to just flip water on them all. You shouldn't really do it like this, but, well, you can. There's no right or wrong way, really. I prefer a water spray. Some people prefer just to stick a little bit of water on it. That's entirely up to the individual. Don't try and clean them though. Clean them. If you want to clean the pots or anything, take your pans out first. Because if you don't, every time you go to wipe one, you'll wipe the next one to it, and then you wipe them all, and they'll all be contaminated. So it's not worth it, honestly. You'll just end up pulling your hair out. So I'm going to put in, oh, and I've got my other one as well. Oh, do you know what? That's annoying me now. That's got white paint on it from the other day. Right. I'm going to put, you know. So first things first, I'm going to get myself background. Sorted. So I'll just be colouring in where and then I can see if I want more colour or pattern or shape or whatever in a space. Like here now, that big circle there, do I want to bring attention with more detail, or is it just going to be colour, or do I want to leave it alone so that it highlights the others and have the underneath colour, have these colour and leave that as a white, or should I just put a grey? All these things that you can sort of think about once you've got your main colour on. So I'm just looking at that now thinking, right, okay, it will be just here as well. It really does help you do this because it gives you a real sort of feel of where all your patterns are. There we go. Can you see how it's coming together now and the shapes are appearing? Whereas before it was just like a massive pattern. Whereas now it's like, there we go. So we've got a lot of, I've got to be careful, I've got all my paints all over. So the pattern sort of formed in there and there, that there. Okay. So it gives me an idea now of where other patterns can be and where I can put other things. So if I want to put a bright, like here, I'm going to put a bright red one because there's not a lot of pattern going on in the background, which I quite like. So I'll concentrate on colour in the background, pattern on top. But then in the meantime, if I quite like what I'm seeing, I can put more pattern in the background with a white and black pen or silver, gold, whatever you want. This helps me to get a little bit more ordered in my head, so I know. It looks a bit wishy-washy, but it will do because I've not really spent much time on the colour aspect of it blending. I'm just getting the watercolour down. But this is the bit I love this. I love when I see the watercolour go on and I can see the water letting me move it all around, and the pattern and the shape. Oh, get off. The pattern and the shape emerging. I love this bit. That and the rubbing out. There we go. So you can see now we've got that there, which is a bit dodgy. I know it's a bit dodgy. We've got colour class 3 coming up as well. If anybody's on the fence, I'm sure if you ask people about colour class 2 and 1, you know, you'll be able to ask them truthfully what they think. So I'm just adding some more. Right, what's happening here is this paper's pulling a little bit, and that's because I'm scrubbing a bit hard. So, you know, sometimes it can be paper, and sometimes it can just be sheer blooming me putting too much effort on it. Right, I'm going to go in with orange now. I've got to go in with orange. Should be really yellow, but I'm hitting the right side of the complementary colours anyway. So just put in a little bit. Let me just move that over there. So there we go. The orange is going to brighten up a background. You can have it as dark or light as you want the orange. If you want it sort of blended, that's fine. You can do that. If you want it ombre or, you know, not generated, graduated, that's another thing you can do, so that it's sort of dark around the edges of the object and then fading lighter. So you get a natural, when you do that, it sort of gives it a three-dimensional look anyway. I tend not to worry too much at the beginning. I tend to let that evolve. Because if I try to do it now, then I'm just spending too much time doing it. So I tend to do it later. Well, as you know, I've been doing this for a good while now. So I love this colour. This is by the AA, not the AA, the SAA. I don't know, the AA might have some nice colours, but this is the SAA. And it's a beautiful colour. See how nice and bright that is now. We set up the colours now. We can sort of, we've got all the bright, we've got a green to go in and maybe something else. So here we'll look at this and think, right, okay, what would go in there? Maybe the opposite of orange. Well, it's purple and yellow, but I quite like purple and orange as well. And I'm really going light in parts, and really going really light and then really dark down here. So I'm hoping to get some sort of, I'm going over those because I don't really worry about them. I'm hoping to get some depth down here. So just blending it out a little bit. If there's any harsh lines, just put a tiny bit more colour on and then just, you know, like push it out like that. Oh, dip it in the wrong one like you silly sausage. Right, so again, I'm looking at darker here, lighter here. And then use that as a colour for this, but I do need a bit more. It's quite weird because I can't see the water level in the pot. I'm like dipping it in, I'm not actually doing anything, it's just hit and miss. Right, okay, so you can see you've got quite a shade happening there. So I'm going to leave that to do a little bit on its own, but then perhaps just drop it in here where it would be a little bit darker. Like that. You see how you've got an edge on that now. Oh, alright, next colour is I've got to use one of my favourites, and I think I'm looking at where I need this colour, and I'll think I'll go for Pear here. Pear is a lovely colour by Studio Light. It's in Janini's, well, it's in both of them, but one's slightly different to the other. It's not called Pear, but it's like a yellow green, and it's a lovely colour. It really is. We tend to, when we look at colours like this, we tend to sort of ignore them because we don't always think, oh, they look nice. But, you know, when you start to sort of put them next to other colours, you realise how important they are for, what's the word, you know, what's the word? Building blocks. They're sort of really important to have as excellent building blocks for other colours to be with, because they're neutrals. And always have them a little bit so that you've got I've got one there. It would be too much there, so I might just have it in a little bits there and there. All again, it can be all sort of changed as and when you want. You don't have to copy me. Just putting a little bit of darker orange there so that it sits well with the background but has a bit more of a difference. You can see the oranges are slightly different to what that is. And again, I think if I have an inner orange here, like that. Blend it out. I love having blends. I just love them because you've got control of them so far, and then the water is controlling them, and I just think, oh, it's superb. So here I'm going to add a little bit more orange, the darker orange, which is one of the Studio Light ones. This is the main group, the Studio Light main group. So this one and the Giannini ones there as well. So I'm using the main group really for these because they're terrific colours, terrific. And I'm going to have a tiny bit of red with that because that will darken my orange even more. I'll show you there, can you see? I've had that, and then I went over it with a little bit of red. I can do a little bit here to show you. It just darkens that orange a tiny bit more, and makes it really a burnt orange. And there we go, a burnt orange. So there I've got the red. I think I'll go back I think I'll go back with purple there to match it up, but a darker one, so it corresponds with that, but not as light. This one's going to be a bit darker, because you've got, don't forget, you've got different sorts of purples. You've got warms and colds, so you know, all depending on what you want to do. This is a bit warmer, this one, so you can see there's more of a red base, so it's a bit warmer than that one. Does that make sense? So now I'm going to drop in with an opera pink, I think, just to give that. There we go. So I'm going to go in with opera pink. Opera pink is a colour that's really hard to find. It's very expensive because it's man-made. But that's just the term I call it. There are lots of different names for it. So I'm just going to go in with that, and then there's the Studio Light Pink, which is, it's a bob on really. It's really good. It's a blue or red, which I like. I'm just putting the pink on sort of a bit cagily. Is that the right word? Just so I can see what it looks like next to that, because if I want to, I then can add like the real burgundy in it and just blend the two together, so we've got shades of pink rather than all just one colour of pink. Because whilst I love pink, you do, you know, you need to sort of, can't put it everywhere. Well, you could, but it doesn't look great when you do that. So here I'm just going to drive in, painting, drive, I'm not driving anywhere. I wish I could. That's a Freudian slip, that, because I can't. Right. So I'm just going to put the pink in around the flower. Not paying too much attention to lines because I can go over it with my pen. And then just, that's it. And if I put the other one over here, if I look at this and think, right, I'm going to go with a darker pink here, that'll bring this one alive. And plus it'll look nice against these two colours here. I love orange and pink together, and teal. They just look great together. A turquoise is a fantastic colour, but it's very hard to get. The only teal I know so far that I've really got on with is the Jane Davenport one. Superb. It's got a great finish to it as well. So I'm looking at these now and I'm thinking I really do need some colours to sort of balance this out. So I think one of them is going to be another blue, but maybe a blue here. Because that'll tie in with the background, plus it'll give the illusion of, well, not the illusion, but it'll give you the something to look at. Focal point, sorry, that's what I meant to say. And again there. And we'll just see about doing it. Don't have to be right good this, because you're just doing a coloured line all the way around. It's not something I do too often, this, but I quite like that. So you've got no control over the line, you just put it on. So here, there we go. Lime. Let's go for limey green. I do like the Harmony one in the other colour, which is the Janini one. It's got a beautiful finish to it, like a really soft, yellowy green, and it's really nice. It's this one. It's called Harmony, and I really like it. It's a zesty green. That's what I was thinking of, zesty green. And I really like that because it sits well with blues. It sits well with reds as well. So I'm just bringing that on. Put a little bit here. I just realised how much water my other paintbrushes hold in comparison to these, because I'm using this now and I'm having to use so much more water because it doesn't remain in the actual bristles, and whereas with my other ones, my mops, the water would be continual all the way around. So there we go. I think what I might do is just drop in the opposite green, which is a dark green. So again, not paying too much attention to colour and shade. I'm just allowing the paint to travel, and then I do whatever it does, whatever it wants. I'm just very conscious at the moment that this is very dark here and we've not got very dark here, so what I'm conscious of doing is maybe I'm going to drop in the dark green here around the edge. Now I'm just going to, can you actually see that? Oh, you can. Right there. So I've just dropped in the dark green. Now, oh, get off. Now, quite happy with that, because I'll tell you why. Can you see depth now with the blue? I think that's a really good, function to have. So if I put the dark green here as well, it's got this dark areas, light areas. Excuse me. Just rub that out a bit. It's a bit rubbish that. So I've gone light, dark, dark and light. I'm not too sure whether I like that, but if I put gold on there, it'll look quite nice. I'm just going to fade this out with a little bit of very light green because I don't want too much colour on it. So I'm going to go now, and the one colour I haven't got on here really is a yellow. So I'm just going to pop in a yellow in the gaps. Now, not everywhere, but there'll be parts where like that's going to need to be, bright and yellow and stuff. So you just look for where you think there's a gap, and then see, not too sure about that. Yeah, that'll do, because it goes with the pear. It goes with the pear. Put that in there. So just looking at this flower now, I'm just thinking, well, what colour flower? So if I go with the cyan, oh, it's gone green. Boom. So although I'm not a lover of this at the moment, I think once I add decoration, this will be totally in the background, so it won't really be seen. We're just covering the paper at the moment. So bear that in mind when you do stuff, that it always doesn't have to have a main focal colour. It can just have like a hint of a colour, so that the focal colour actually really does blend out. It's the colour in the It's the pattern that takes over. So here I'm just doing like rusty dots. So this is using the quinacridone orange. And this is the Sennelier one. So I'm going to put a little bit there just to contrast. Plus it's filling a big hole there. I'm going to put a little bit in here because I think this will set off. And it might even look like you're looking through into, you know, the orange do for it back. You could do them black when you dry if you want, when it's dry, add a bit more black to it. There we go. So look at this bit here. It's an analogous colour, so it'll be fitting with that. And I think here I'm going to just warm this up with a little bit of it as well. So I'm just going to put a little bit of dense colour there and there. There we go. Dry off that and blend. I'm finishing off my website in a minute, so it's quite funny, right? And here's me saying to people, why haven't you got your website done yet? And I'm like moaning at him in a nice way until you do your own, and then you realise how much hard work, because all the buttons we press and take for granted, you've got to put all them in and program it. Not quite program them, but if anyone presses on a button, you've got to put in that button and where it goes to, whereas we're just, well, I'm very guilty of just thinking I press a button and it goes somewhere. I'm not great at pressing buttons, as we all know. I always get that bit wrong, so I'm being a bit cagey with pressing these buttons, I must admit. But yeah, I'm trying to sort of work through that. And you look at your clock, and before you know it, 4 hours, you're like, what? That's never, I've never spent 4 hours there. And you have. And I really do get like shocked thinking, how have I spent all that time? And it doesn't feel like I've done much, but I have, because it's slowly but surely it's getting there. It just takes time. But yeah, I suppose we're all guilty of that, aren't we? Where we thought, oh, just 5 minutes here, and before you know it, you're like, it's tea time, and you're like, oh, I better get the tea on, or oh, someone else is going to be home in a minute and no tea on, or they're doing tea, or whatever it is. But before you know it, you're sort of rushing around trying to get all that done. There we go. So I've done some little bits and bobs. I might, when this is dry or drier, I might just put like a little bit of gold around them as well. I think this needs a little bit of a, what I might do is, I think I like the, just putting down here, I like the rusty colour on the green. It's not a bright colour, but I think I'll do the same on that. Whereas I'm just going to give it a blob, technical term, of course, a blob on the pear colour. I think it'll just brighten it up. And then of course you can always spray it if you wish, you know, so you can put a blob and spray it so it looks black, but it like a rusty colour with a shade on it, so to speak. There we go. So Okay, so we've got that there, we've got a light colour there, we've got that there. So we've done a lot, and it's gone on a bit today because I was late. First time I've ever been late without meaning to. I mean, sometimes I've tried to get back and not got back and missed it, but I've never been this late. Your studio light paints? I'm not too sure. I'll try and have a look. I'll try and have a look, but with me not having anything to do with the money or products or anything like that, I just, go on. So, but I will try and have a look for you. If you want to just message me, but I can't promise anything because, as I say, I don't have anything to do with that. The products are sent here and then they're sent out again. So, as far as I know, that's all I know, sort of thing. I don't know the prices or anything. I've got a clue. And do you know what? I'm pretty glad I don't either. So, because of Chandra production, is that the right word? Producer of the goods, they're not a retailer. Although I do know that some of my stuff now can be bought at That's Crafty. I know Laura's got it on her site, and I'll put you a link onto the other stuff that's on the site as well. I put you a link on the last one. I'll double it up this link and show you. The paints I'm using are the studio light paints, which I always use, and I've got the Giannini one. I can highly recommend these two. They're not the same colours, very, very different. They're not very different in the sense of quality. They're very, very good quality, but what they do is they sit in between each other regarding shade. So what might look similar here, like this, when you put them together like that, they might look very similar, and you think, oh well, I've got all them there. They're actually different. They're all different, and they're not the same. So even the yellows are different. So just to clarify that, because I know Blinny, she's got hers now, but she asked that, and she can verify it because she's got hers now. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I really did. It was, Ruddy, I shouldn't say that word, Ruddy loved it. But yeah, I'm going to add some bits. I'm not going into my room, guys, because I seriously want to get on with my website and stuff. I want to be able to sort of do this on my website instead of Facebook, and still link it to Facebook, but I'll get a better quality. And then I will see you tomorrow, 12 o'clock on the dot. Not late tomorrow. Yeah, they are. They are very good quality. You're more than welcome. Thank you, everybody, for your support. I've got to do something with this. It looks a bit dodgy. But I'm going to put pencils on this because I've got some great Bronzer Neon pencils coming up next week as well. They're beautiful. I've only got the 24, but the 36 are being sold. You're more than welcome, everybody. So take care. Love to you all. Thanks for your support. And I'll be around tomorrow. All right. Thanks again. Bye.